Harris experiences significant support from black voters in crucial battleground states. Kindly subscribe the channel and like if you watch and listen. However, disparities persist. Following a 2-year period of unemployment, Daryl Gatewood secured a kindly subscribe the channel and like if you watch and listen position earlier this year as a driver for a pharmaceutical delivery truck in suburban Pennsylvania, a role that offers a competitive salary. Kindly subscribe the channel and like if you watch and listen, and healthcare benefits. This development reflects a recovering economy. However, he continues to face financial difficulties alongside his wife's kindly subscribe the channel and like if you watch and listen, health challenges. He expressed that the state of the economy is his primary concern in this election year. Kindly subscribe the channel and like if you watch and listen. And as a black man and a registered Democrat residing in a swing state, he remains undecided regarding his presidential vote. Kindly subscribe the channel and like if you watch and listen. He is one of those who remain uncertain regarding his support for Democrat Kamala Harris, Republican Donald Trump, or a candidate from a third party in the presidential race. Kindly subscribe the channel and like if you watch and listen. People claim that Trump represents the wealthy, stated Gatewood, 59. But will she take action that benefits everyone? Kindly subscribe the channel and like if you watch and listen. What plans does she have for the entire nation? Support for Harris's presidential campaign is increasing significantly. Kindly subscribe the channel and like if you watch and listen. Among black voters in the crucial battleground states of Michigan and Pennsylvania. However, the likely Democratic nominee must take additional steps to address the kindly subscribe the channel and like if you watch and listen. The worries of young, low-income, and undecided black voters regarding escalating grocery prices and housing expenses. Kindly subscribe the channel and like if you watch and listen. A recent survey involving 500 black voters from each of the specified states, conducted over the past weekend, indicates a preference for Vice President Harris over former President Trump, with a margin of 7-1 in Michigan and a similar trend in Pennsylvania. However, the poll also highlighted considerable apprehensions among demographics most affected by prolonged inflation. Should voters such as Gatewood choose to support a third-party candidate, it may jeopardize Harris's chances in what continues to be a closely contested national election. The results of the poll emerge as Harris and her running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, prepare for the upcoming Democratic National Convention next week. Analysts suggest that the campaign needs to effectively appeal to uncommitted and third-party voters. With only 60 to 70 days remaining until the election, Harris must focus on increasing her support among young, low-income, and independent voters to secure victory, stated David Paleologos, director of the Suffolk University Political Research Center. Interest on the rise. According to the poll, there is a growing enthusiasm for the Harris campaign. In July, Harris took over the lead of the Democratic ticket from Joe Biden, who was urged to withdraw from his re-election campaign. It resembles observing a team that was trailing by 24 points in the first quarter, now having leveled the score. As we enter the fourth quarter, there is a collective desire to avoid any mistakes, such as fumbling the ball or throwing an interception. Harris has been actively campaigning nationwide, notably in Pennsylvania, where she unveiled Walz as her running mate during a rally in Philadelphia. She intends to return to the state this weekend. The Suffolk poll indicated an increase in favorability ratings for Harris in both Michigan and Pennsylvania, in contrast to the period when Biden was leading the campaign. In Michigan, her favorability rating rose to 72%, with 16% expressing unfavorability, compared to a favorable-unfavorable ratio of 60% to 24% in June when Biden was a candidate. In Pennsylvania, her ratings improved to 68% favorable and 19% unfavorable in August, up from 55% favorable and 30% unfavorable in June. Voters by black two crucial swing states, which were feeling about the presidential race in June, assume they are very likely to actually cast a ballot for Harris this fall. The poll found 78% of those measured were now very motivated to vote for Harris, while only 53% said the same for Biden in the previous poll. In Pennsylvania, 79% were very motivated to vote for Harris, equaled to 62%. Kindly subscribe the channel and like if you watch and listen, who said they were motivated to vote for Biden in June.